In this lesson, we are going to create a MongoDB database and connect to it through our backend project. For the database, we have two options: creating Atlas database on the cloud server or creating local version of MongoDB on our computer. I teach you both of them in this lesson. To get the source code of this lesson, go to repository and in the commit section, find video 19. And then here is the code to connect to the MongoDB database. Let's get to code. Here is the plan to connect to MongoDB database. We have two options. The first one is using Atlas MongoDB on cloud server. And second one is installing local version of MongoDB on your computer. Let us start with the simple one, which is using cloud database on Atlas. Go to this address, mongodb.com/atlas/database, and click on try free. Here you need to create an account. You can use the sign up with Google and follow the instruction to create an account on MongoDB Atlas. After sign up, click on sign in and then click on login with Google. After login from Google, you may have this form to accept the privacy policy and click on submit. After that, you need to answer the questions here. Select build a new application. Just answer to the questions and then click on finish. Here we have three options to deploy a cloud database. Let us start the free shared one and click on create. In the next step, select the default options and then click on create cluster. Here it's time to enter user and password for the database. We are going to create a database user. Enter Amazona as a username and set a password. I'm going to set the password to Amazona, but you need to set it to something secure and keep it somewhere else because we need it later in this lesson. Click on create user and there we are. After creating user, for add entries to your IP address list, select 0.0.0.0/0. It means that we accept connection from everywhere and set the description to all. Click add entry. Then click on finish and close. It says congratulations and click on go to database. You will have this message, your cluster is being created. Awesome, we successfully created. Click on browse collections, then click on add my own data. Here we need to set a name, set it to Amazona and collection name to test collection and click on create. If you are getting error in creating database, you need to log out and log in again to fix this issue. Great. We have our database. It's time to create a connection URI. Go to databases and click on connect. Then select connect to your application and copy this connection string. Go back to VS Code and open a new file, paste it here and replace password for your password. For my case, I just set it to Amazona, but for yours, you need to add the password that you entered in the wizard of MongoDB Atlas. For the my first database, rename it to Amazona because in the collections, the name of database that we created is Amazona. Select all, Control C to copy this line, then go to the backend, right click, new file and create an environment file .env. This file doesn't have any name and it has just an extension named env. What we're gonna do here is to set a variable named mongodb_URI, all capital, enter equal sign and paste the connection string that you created in this file. So then save .env file and we need to ignore this file from Git repository. Go to .gitignore and enter .env and save it. So this file is not going to be part of your Git repository because it's a secure data and no one should have access to it. After this, close the untitled file. We don't need it, and keep the .env file. The next step is gonna be in the server.js, and we are going to connect to the MongoDB database. For this purpose, we're gonna use Mongoose package. It's a MongoDB object modeling for Node.js. We just need to install it. Open your terminal, click a new instance, go to backend folder, and run npm install mongoose. Also, we need to install another package to load .env file in our Node application. The name of this package is .env. npm install .env, press enter, and then import both of them here. Import mongoose and import .env from env. Run .env.config to fetch variables in the .env file, and then it's time to connect to the MongoDB database. Run mongoose.connect, and the parameter is MongoDB URI. We're gonna use process.env.mongodb_URI. When we call .env.config, the value inside .env file will be loaded in this variable process.env. Whatever you enter here will be loaded in the same variable name here. So this variable has this value, the connection string. The connect function returns a promise, so I can use then here, and everything is okay. Console log connected to DB, and after then put a catch to detect the error, and if there is an error, console log error.message. Save the file, and here is the MongoDB connect function. Let's open terminal, go to Node application, and there we are. We successfully connected to the DB. If we enter a wrong MongoDB URI, we will get error message. Let's test it. In the .env file at the beginning, enter something wrong, save it, stop the backend project, Control C, and run it again. As you see, it says invalid connection string. Or if we enter wrong password, let's see what we get. Stop the project and run it again. And after serving address, we are getting bad authentication. Authentication failed. The MongoDB connection string should be correct, otherwise you will get error message. That's it about connecting to MongoDB database from MongoDB Atlas Cloud Server, but we have another option to install MongoDB locally on our computer. To install MongoDB locally, go to this address, docs.mongodb.com/manual/administration/install-community, and based your operating system, select install on Windows, Mac, or Linux. I already did it, and to make sure that your local MongoDB database works, go to this address, mongodb.com/products/compass, and click on download now. It's a GUI for your MongoDB database. Based on your operating system, select platform and click on download. Run it and drag it to your application folder. After installing, open MongoDB Campus, click open, and then at this address, enter MongoDB://localhost. Click on connect, and there we are. You may have nothing here, but because I already created local database, I have list of my database here. Like what I did in MongoDB Atlas, I'm going to click on create database and enter the database name to Amazona and set collection name to test collection and click on create database. As you see, I have this database Amazona here, and to connect to this database, go to the .env file and change this to mongodb ://localhost/Amazona. Save the file, stop the project, and run it again. As you see, it works. If I change this server to something else, stop the project, and run it again, we will get an error after a while because it cannot connect to this server. It's this error not found. If you prefer use local database, use this one. But if you like to use MongoDB Atlas database, cut it from here, paste it here, and save it. After restarting the project, your new database is this one. For this project, I prefer to use the local one, but if you have any problem in installing local database, use the Atlas one. There is no difference between these two database server. So I just use the local one here. Stop and run the project to apply this change. Great, that's it about this lesson. We successfully created Mongo database on Atlas server and on local computer. And in the server.js, we connected to the database. Also, we installed two packages, .env and Mongos, to connect to MongoDB database. That's it about this lesson. Until next lesson, bye-bye.